Well, ho, 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 merry whatever year it is. Wait, we are done with 2020, right? Right? Well, listen, I get it. I'm trying to make the most out of this whole Christmas set thing, but this thing freaking itches. How does this fat guy do it? I had to trade in whatever's left of the Ghost of Christmas Spirit for a t-shirt that is approved by my Winona Ryder's face as a walking emoji generator scale of schlock cinema. You can find this for sale, not on my shop. I don't have a shop. Nobody's gonna shop for me, but it's available somewhere. So, and yes, I still would. So yeah, I guess we're in 2021 now, and I'm already asking the question, have you seen any good films? I know I've seen some good ones. Just a couple days ago, I caught on TV the new Olympus Has Fallen movie. I didn't even know they made a fourth one. It's back in Washington, but not at the White House. They were at the Capitol. Things were going crazy. I did not see Gerard Butler. I'm sure he's in it somewhere, but I did see the new bad guy. He was kind of like Conan the Barbarian. Pre-Crow Sting and Screech Powers all had a threesome that led to the worst villain you've ever seen. I'm sorry, what? Oh, that was real life? Oh. That's bizarre. Well, I guess that kills my follow-up question if you've seen any good reality TV recently. Listen, I get it. 2021's not exactly starting off on the right foot, unless it's sort of like the Venture Brothers, and by right foot I mean a phantom limb. But, you know, 2020, looking back at it, I know, lots of negatives. I've had my share. But it was a golden year for physical media. Yeah, so that's what I'm here to talk about today. My favorite physical media releases from that Godard forsaken year of 2020. Now, I said favorite, not best. For instance, I've seen Buddy Cooper's The Mutilator more times than Orson Welles' Citizen Kane. I'm being honest here. Now, do I think The Mutilator is a better film than Citizen Kane? No, I'm not a crazy person. Actually, listen, I own Waterworld like 7 or 8 times throughout the years, so I might be a little bit of a crazy person. If we're going to talk about the best physical media releases, first up, here, what I'm going to do is, you see this great Star Wars set that came out. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to set it right here, mostly out of view, because it's going to hold up a little thing I like to call, well, what they call it, the Al Adamson Masterpiece Collection. That's right, it's a beauty. Now, of course, usually the term Masterpiece Collection refers to things like the Alfred Hitchcock Masterpiece Collection, or maybe perhaps the Stanley Kubrick Masterpiece Collection. So the Al Adamson Masterpiece Collection is not full of films shot on VistaVision and, you know, an AFI's greatest films of all time list. In fact, if you were to ask me, hey, are any of those Al Adamson films any good? No, they're not. There's not a single one of them that's any good. But they're all great. Just look at some of these titles here. The Female Bunch, Psycho A Go-Go, Blazing Stewardesses, The Naughty Stewardesses, Satan's Sadists, Black Samurai. Now, I don't know about you, but that just makes me say, you can suck at AFI. This is classic work here. And Severin did a absolutely fantastic job with this set. This is not only one of the best sets of 2020, this is one of the best sets of all time. Look at this thing. It's just gorgeous. You know, this wonderful digibook packaging. Listen, I just admittedly said digibook packaging out loud because I know what it is. Because there's some reason in this world I'm not a virgin. I don't know. But you got, you know, the artwork in there from the posters with the discs, of course, and then there's a great booklet. I would put my films up against any director in the film industry today and defy them to do a better film for the money. And that's really what it's all about. Al Adamson did not have the budgets, but he always delivered on the entertainment value. I really do think it's a great set. I told David Gregory of Severin Films when I saw him during the mid-year sale, not halfway to Black Friday sale. That's a different company, which we'll get to. I told him, I was like, this set's great. He, of course, did the documentary that comes in the set, a wonderful documentary on the life, career, and unfortunate end to Al Adamson's life. He was really appreciative, so much so that he then forced me to buy 24 copies of Devolved on Blu-ray and DVD. If you don't have a copy of Devolved, get it while you can, because I tell you what, we're just a few years away from that 15th anniversary when it's going to get an 8K restoration with Dolby Atmos. Yes, I'm sure you saw my Cruel Jaws review video. If not, and you have 20 minutes to kill, go ahead. But the legal entanglements and the death of physical media that's, keeps getting preached about. I didn't think we'd ever see anything like this. Let's go with Universal Studios, because I just mentioned, talking about Al Adamson's box set, Hitchcock, and we finally got some Hitchcock in 4K. 4 of the 5 big ones. We're talking about Hitchcock's most successful era in his career, certainly his most popular. Of course, he had his TV show. He was just, his silhouette was famous, and they all look pretty great, depending on the source. For instance, Vertigo was shot on VistaVision. VistaVision was not 70mm, but it gets lumped in there. If you're into the technical stuff, the way the film was loaded into the camera allowed 35mm film to be exposed at the same size as 70mm. And VistaVision had its own unique look. It's maybe my favorite look of all. Searchers was shot in VistaVision. Hitchcock did a few films in it. Whereas The Birds has a lot of optical effects. This was before the days of digital editing, and so there's some shots in The Birds that don't look as good or softer or that sort of thing. If I'm going to be completely honest, Psycho had an issue where its mono track is not a true mono track. It's not the original mono track. It's a fold down to the 5.1. So you got to email Universal, and it's if they're on the naughty list, it's because they've just mucked that up from the get-go. If I'm going to go for my release of the year for Arrow, it's easy for me to go with Tremors. I knew this was coming. I was very excited. I love Tremors. I love a good creature feature. One of my highlights from 2020 was pre-pandemic. I got to host a couple of sold-out rowdy screenings of Tremors for its 30th anniversary. The crowds were jacked. I was jacked. I was having a blast. I love the movie. Fans love the movie.
Woo! I got a goddamn plan. Let's have a Tremors movie party. Woo! I love this movie. Do you love this movie?
Yeah. It's a Universal movie that the previous masters have had that, video look to them, so I'm glad that that's finally gone, erased away with this great set. If you're familiar with some of those really nice Arrow box sets that they've done for things like RoboCop, I mentioned Waterworld earlier, they did one for that. They've done several of them. It comes with, the double-sided poster. You get this as well, double-sided. Got a little coupon for Walter Chang's Market, which, I haven't looked at the expiration date, but some postcard type things. As usual, you could flip the inside Blu-ray to be the original artwork if you want. My personal favorite release from Kino this year. Another movie I didn't think would ever be released on physical media again. Narrow Margin. This is one of those times where it's like, this is where I'm talking about favorite versus best. Do I think that's a better movie than some of these Eastwoods or other movies that are out there? Absolutely not. But Narrow Margin is a personal favorite of mine. It's one that I would always catch late at night back in the day, and I'd always flip it on and get into it. You can't go wrong with Hackman going after the bad guys, and I'm a sucker for movies on trains. I'm also a sucker for Peter Hyams flicks. If you do watch my reviews, you saw me review a couple of his Van Damme movies during the Van Damme Apocalypse. I reviewed, Time Cop, of course, and Sudden Death, which is one of the top 2 or 3 Van Damme movies in my opinion. But Narrow Margin, I think it's a little underrated, remake from 1990. And, Hyams was also his own cinematographer, which is always interesting to me. And this is another one of those movies where he just has a total fetish for the shadows. And it was a minor miracle this thing happened. Is this massive deluxe Friday the 13th box set. I really don't know if we'd ever see, with the legal entanglements, if you're familiar at all, I don't know if we'd ever see another Friday the 13th box set like this, with all the movies. A couple of discs kind of skipped through quality control, so you had to get some replacements if you got it early, but that's just shouts away, but they're doing great work. And some of these have reversible artwork, some of them don't, some of them have more bonus features than others, some of them are brand new, from 4K remaster. Some of them aren't. You finally get the third movie in true 3D if you have a 3D setup. Shout Factory. Even if I tried to put them on the naughty list, it would somehow get past QC and make it to the nice list, just in that Shout Factory style. Man, this was one of the first films that I saw in a movie theater after things opened back up, when things were closed down during the pandemic over the summer. Alamo, of course, has their Fantastic Fest. It was mostly online, but they had things playing, and this was a surprise screening they did This is following all the A, B, C, Ds of schlock cinema. All the action, all the babes, all the cars, all the dumb one-liners, and all the explosions. If action schlock is your jam, you gotta check this bad boy out, okay? But I also gotta give a shout out, because I'm a whore. Beastmaster. This gets a place here for several reasons. One, it's an awesome flick. Tanya Roberts just passed away, unfortunately, so you can watch it in memory of her. Don Coscarelli is, to this day, one of the nicest celebrities that I've personally ever met. Just gave everyone their time. And also, this is unrelated to that, but I filmed some stuff that's on the documentary on there, so it is one of the nicest releases they've done. Inside the cool box, you get the booklet. People ask me, Hawk, do you have a savings account? Do you have a 401k? No, I collect movies. I collect cardboard. And you know what? These Vinegar Syndrome titles, not the movies so much, but the slipcovers, they're gonna help send my kid to community college for like a semester, like a class, maybe a couple books for a semester. Let's see what's next here. We got Wild Things. Why is that? Well, I mean, I know why it's in here, but it must be time to talk about Sony, I guess. We got this bad boy, the Columbia Pictures Classics, Volume 1. We've already sent questionnaires out about future 4K releases, and the Volume 2 of this. We know we're getting Last Action Hero here in 2021. I've told them Anaconda would be a great choice. I put my money where my mouth is. That's another one that I had a great time hosting for about 9 people. The first time I hosted Anaconda, about 9 people showed up, but one girl, it was her birthday, so that was cool. If you're into box sets, this is a really cool one. It's got a book in here. You got these movies in here, Lawrence of Arabia, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, Dr. Strangelove, Gandhi, A League of Their Own, and of course the real reason we bought it, Jerry Maguire. David Lean is cool, but he ain't Cameron Crowe. He never made Almost Famous, okay? This is classic films, and I just have to say, I've seen Raw Force, which is about, ninjas, zombies, and cannibalism. I've seen that more times than I've seen Lawrence of Arabia, but to be fair to that, Lawrence of Arabia is about 9 days long, so, sometimes you gotta do a little time management. The Elephant Man. Look at this. Look at this thing. Look at this. Look at this. It's so stupid. I love it. Criterion. This remaster, they've released it on just regular Blu-ray. But this is in 4K. It comes with postcards and booklets and more discs. If you've been at all into Studio Canal's recent 4K box sets that they've done for some of the John Carpenter movies like They Live and Prince of Darkness, and Studio Canal has like the second largest film library as far as the titles they own, and it's good stuff. They own good stuff. It's crazy. When your wife asks you what you want to spend the stimulus on, this is the correct answer. It won't even take up all the stimulus, just a good chunk of it, okay? This is for one movie. This is how ridiculous this habit is. This is one movie, alright? Look at this. Look at this thing. All the discs. There's 2 of these. There's one of multiple, 4K or Blu-rays, depending what you got. There's one of multiple CDs. You got multiple booklets in here. I mean, just this is for one movie. One movie. But it's such a good movie, and this is kind of falls in line with the Friday the 13th. Because of issues, in this case, the person who owns the rights to this movie, I still remember all those years ago, 2004 I think it was, I left the video house I was working at to go pick up the Ultimate Edition DVD at a Best Buy, and I thought, this is it. This is as good as it will get on Dawn of the Dead, and then this bad boy comes along and proves me wrong. So I got to give all the credit to Second Sight. I also got to give a shout out to Severin, because I know my buddies there did some work on this thing. If I'm going to be honest, this has got to be my number one. This is the physical media release of the year for 2020 for me. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to sleep really tight. I'm going to leave all these 4Ks and Blu-rays, just box sets lying out everywhere. The ladies of the house are going to wake up in the morning, and either A, they're going to leave me, or they're just going to, be so thankful to have thousands of physical copies of movies just at their fingertips. I mean, it's pretty cool. not going to bed alone. No need for protection when it's cardboard.
Hockshock,